This is Dan Tortora here in an exclusive Bobcat Buzz here on site on location at Game Point Sports Complex where the Bryant Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse train. They got to make history tonight playing their first ever game here, and not only was it their first ever game, but their first win, one of one here to make that happen. So this season we've seen a bunch of wins, we've seen some awesome moments, we've seen the team rise through adversity in the last two. Now we got to see them make history, winning their first ever game on site at Game Point Sports Complex. Clay, congratulations.
Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it.
And just what it means to you to be able to make history here, to play a game at Game Point. We know how much this facility has meant to the community in less than a year's time on 211 South Center Street in East Syracuse. So to not only practice here, but to play a game here, what did it mean to you to be able to show up on the court and have a game?
Yeah, this we practice every day, so OCC is great, but obviously this feels like home because we spend a lot of time over here, and we just are so fortunate and love this facility so much. So to have the opportunity to play games is cool. Obviously a little tighter space than OCC, but that brought extra energy and intensity. It was loud, and we fed off that tonight. We played well, obviously, and to get the win is, for us, we just want to finish the semester strong, so happy to play well tonight.
And the guys spoke with TJ Oliver and DeCourcy Corley about the fact that there was some adversity, and now you guys have had back-to-back wins, 2-game winning streak going into Christmas break. Just what you can say to how they responded to the adversity to get these two right before they take a break.
It was massive for us, especially last night against Berkeley College. A stronger opponent. That was a big game for us, so to walk away with a win was really important. And obviously with the history of them eliminating us last year, that one felt, that was satisfying, let's put it that way. But obviously early in the season, we've been through some adversity, as you mentioned. We lost a few more games than we typically do this early on. So we want to make sure going into our break, we just positioned ourselves where we needed to be to go on a run in the second semester. That's exactly what we did this weekend with 2 conference wins.
And we have successfully had Cleo, Max, and now Zoe at games. So just what it means to you to be a father of 3 and to have the support that you have from the Gagen family, from your family, obviously from your wife, and to know that all of your children have now gotten to see their dad win and the team that they love win.
Yeah, it means everything. That's my world right there. So for them to be part of this, there's nothing better.
We got to see the Anthony family here. They came out of the dome, and kind of crazy for me to experience it as well as I left the dome, left the Syracuse game. They got the win. I interviewed Kiyan Anthony, came here, saw him and his father Carmelo hanging out at Game Point Sports at your game. What does that mean to you to have Carmelo and Kiyan here?
Honestly, it's kind of still hasn't hit me yet because I was in game mode when they were here, of course. But it's just that's Mr. Syracuse. That's Carmelo Anthony. That's one of the GOATs, greatest of all time. And for him to be here, taking the time to watch and support our team. And, obviously you tend to look over to see how he reacts to plays and stuff. And for him to be having fun and acknowledging the talent we have in the program is really cool to see. And just it's about the growth of the program. Obviously we got a couple guys that played with Kyle in high school, so that's what brings the attention to the program. But for them to come here and experience it and see what we're doing is awesome. And again, we played well, and I think we put on a good show tonight.
And having Carmelo and Kiyan here for you, and being exposed to the Bryant Stratton Syracuse program, what can that do for you and getting the message out there about who you are?
Yeah, obviously if you get a stamp of approval from those guys that, this is a legit program with some real basketball players, obviously that's going to help the exposure. That's going to help, just make us more of a legit name. And again, we've done a great job the last few years, winning games, making national tournament runs. Again, just like locally for us to continue to improve that reputation and be known as a household name is something we're really striving for. And you don't get any bigger than that. So Carmelo Anthony, him courtside watching one of our games was unreal.
You said it hasn't really hit you yet, but there were moments where he was having a good time, guys on Bryant Stratton making shots, and TJ and Day Day were talking about the fact of, like, you know, there's certain things that we talked about that he taught us, different things to do, and his reaction, laughing, smiling, kind of hitting somebody. I mean, to see him having fun and taking in this program for you, I mean, did you ever think in your wildest dreams as a coach that you would see a national champion in the same city that you represent at your game?
Absolutely not. Until about 30 minutes before we were getting ready for the game today, when TJ and Day Day told me, I thought they were talking about Kai, and I was like, oh man, that's still big time. That was super cool. And then they said, nah, Melo too. I'm like, oh, that's where I said, all right, let's go. You know. So it was, I would never have imagined that, especially obviously Syracuse. It's where my wife's from. You know, obviously she grew up here when they went on the run. That was one of her first, you know, someone that she really looked up to, and you know, she remembers those runs vividly. So, you know, it was a pretty surreal moment to have him in one corner of the gym, my wife in the other corner of the gym, and just, again, watching Bryant Stratton basketball go out there and compete. So,
words to your student athletes as you head into the break.
Yeah, let's reflect on the semester and understand that we got 2 wins this weekend, and it started with a great week of practice. And again, like, conference games are no joke. Obviously tonight was a bit of a lighter one compared to some of the other teams that we face. But if we're going to win conference games, we got to consistently put in the work and stay focused on what's in front of us and eliminate any distractions. And during break, enjoy your family, enjoy the time home. It's a short break. Don't get out of shape, obviously. And when we get back here January 2nd, we got a mission to do January 6th when we match up against our Buffalo campus. So just come back locked in.